Hey there, wonderful world of social media. Yours truly, Jimmie Williams. Most people call me the Wisdom Economics Coach. If you find me on YouTube, that's the name of my channel. And I just want to say, hey, we're back again with another great short video, probably 30 to 40 minutes. Some people say that's too long, but it's packed with a lot of content. And I have a special guest with me today, and I'm going to bring them on in a moment. But I just want to let you guys know that this is 2021. It's the year of impossibilities. Whatever you think is impossible, it can be made possible, okay? So the things that you think you can't do, you can do them this year with the right mindset, with the right spirit, the right energy, and the right circle around you. And I'm here to inspire you, to tell you that you can do it. If you find me on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, take a moment, share the video, like, and subscribe. If you see me on YouTube, more than likely you're gonna go down below. There's a little red button down there. Click on it, subscribe. If you see me on Facebook, there is a way to follow me on there. I have a huge, real estate group. So just type in Jimmie Williams or JW Acquisitions and Development. You'll see it come up. You just subscribe, request to join the group, and follow us, okay? If you're on Instagram, very easy. Just go ahead and follow me and keep up with us and find out what we're doing in 2021. It's gonna be an amazing year. That's all I can tell you. We're gonna do some great things. And I wanted to share with you for just a moment before I introduce him, an update on what's going on with the Business in a Box program. Many of you from 2020 got into my program. It's called Business in a Box. Basically, my team, we go out, we buy you guys a corporation, we build the corporation out for you. We put, business trade lines on it. We get you, a business address. We build you a website that has an age domain name, and we do everything that, that we have to do to make sure you're compliant with the SBA. I mean, we check every guideline, and then we submit your docs to the SBA for funding. And we have other methodologies, other ways of funding through other methods, but we focus on getting you the EIDL loan for up to $150K, and then we try to take you and get you other business credit cards and trade lines and lines of credit and term loans, over a 6-month period. And we've been very successful with it. It's kicking off really good this year. And so with that being said, I have my brother's name is Charles Johnson, and he's out of New Jersey, and he's in the Business in a Box program. I want him to come on here and share with you guys his story. He has a phenomenal story. This man is a visionary, and he's a leader. He's a real estate investor, and he does other things like cryptocurrency. He has a ton of things. Again, he's a visionary, so he has multiple streams of income. But we're going to start out talking about the Business in a Box program, because you guys want to know, who's been successful with it. Is it real? Is Jimmie really doing this for people? And, even though you guys see the evidence, you see that I have clients who've gotten funded, up to 200 grand, Patricia Winters and all of, you want to make sure that it's continual, and you want to see more than one person be successful. Well, he's in it now, and he's going to tell you his experience so far. He hasn't gotten funded yet, but he's going to tell you about, what this really is and if it's real or not. And then I'm going to have him just share with you his real estate experience. Most of you guys started following me because of real estate. You guys know I do all types of real estate, and I do a lot of coaching and mentoring. But I got a guy here who has a legitimate, awesome story. He's going to show you how he did it. He has a big property that he actually renovated himself, okay? And he got into Business in a Box for the purpose of getting more seed money, more capital to expand his business. I keep telling you guys, if you can't expand your financial dexterity, when I say dexterity, most people think it means writing with both hands, but from a mental standpoint, you got to be able to stretch, your finances to create more wealth. Because when you borrow money, you can create more wealth by buying more property, buying businesses and all that. But if you can't get seed capital, it's almost impossible to grow. And that's why he got in Business in a Box. He took a big risk. He put it on a credit card and he said, hey, listen, Jimmie, I'm in. And we're about 4 to 6 weeks from getting him funded. All right. Now we're talking about a guy who wrote a book. I bought it. It's called The Risk Taker. This guy's special. I mean, I'm tooting your horn, brother. And I like him because he is a risk taker. If you listen to his story and listen to where he's coming from, you're going to find out that you cannot afford to be complacent. You cannot afford to sit down and wait for somebody to do it for you. I'm going to speak to black people for a moment here. If there's ever a time for you to get up and take action, I love all y'all, black or white, but I'm talking about black people now. You got to take risk. The time is now to do that, not tomorrow. And he's not just talking about it, he did it. You know, and he's been through a lot in his life, and he found a way to muster up the strength to tell and share his story. A lot of people have a story, but they won't share it. I got the book. When I talked to him, I'm like, man, this guy is special. He's got something serious here. So I think he's worthy of listening to. Whatever you're doing, stop what you're doing, get a pen and a piece of paper. Just listen to what he's got to say, and I think you'll be blessed by him, all right? So I'm going to introduce him now. Charles Johnson, can you hear me and see me well, sir?
Yes, yes. I hear you. I hear you fine.
All
I
right.
see you well as well.
Awesome.
I love your introduction, man. I love your introduction. Definitely. That's cool.
It's well deserving. Again, I've been knowing you a little while now, and I see what you're trying to accomplish, and you're worthy of that introduction.
Right.
You put the blood, sweat, and tears in, my brother. So I think what we'll do is we'll start out by saying, you know, we want to go right into how you got started as an investor and talk about your story and about the book a little bit.
Okay.
Right after
Okay.
talk about the property, and right after that, we'll go right to business in a box. You know, we'll talk about the corporation that you got from us and how that's going. But just go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, okay?
Well, pretty much I'm originally from New York. I moved to Jersey. You know, for me personally, it was more about I was just so eager to get into real estate. You know, when I got into real estate, when I first I got this first house, it was pretty much a shell.
Wow. Wow.
And because it was a shell, I was so motivated to, you know, I took this two family and pretty much made it a three or slash four family, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Because I think about leverage and I think about worst case scenario,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, it's so many ways how can I could describe it. You know, j- Being that I got this first house, it taught me a lot. I got a lot of experience from this first house because a lot of mistakes. I
Really?
just jumped in. I just jumped in. Normally, knowing what I know now, when I move on to the next property,
Yeah.
I know what to look for. Because when I bought this first house, pretty much it had every problem, every issue, plumbing, electrical. But you know what? I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely appreciate it. Being in real estate now, and I understand the processes and what it takes to renovate, what it takes to deal with tenants, what it takes to manage, um, and being an investor. Taking risks. Betting on yourself. Being a black man and being able to bet on yourself.
Awesome. Stick a pin right there, and that's awesome. Black men, if you're out there, and again, I have 500 in the U.S., but 5,000 students globally, all different races and backgrounds. Okay, so when we start saying we talk to black people, that's not excluding everybody else. We're just saying black men understand that we have to step up our game and do things just a little bit harder, dig in a little bit deeper to make it happen. Okay, we know this. We know this systemic racism. People sitting here saying it's not true. Just look at the news. Just look around, and it's in real estate too. We got to go extra hard. And what Charles is saying, and again, I recommend you guys buy this book, The Risk Taker. You're going to see what I'm talking about. He understands we have to go, go, go a little bit harder, and that's what he did to make this happen. Charles, tell us, how did you get the financing for the property, if you don't mind?
Uh, Great question. It was a mix between me having a little bit of a down payment. I saved up some of my money, being that I'm in the IT field, and I've actually applied via FHA.
Okay,
So I qualified for FHA,
okay.
and I had a mix of a down payment.
So he's
And
down payment, guys. He had to use the power of FHA with a pretty decent credit score. I'm assuming, right?
yeah, with a decent credit score, pretty much.
Okay.
Um, it's interesting. When I got this property,
Mm-hmm.
I met another brother like you.
Okay.
He owned multiple properties.
Okay.
So, I guess through the grace of God,
Mm-hmm.
me being ambitious,
Yeah.
meeting this guy on Craigslist, and
Awesome, man.
the rest is history. Yeah.
And see, and that's the thing I tell people. Real estate is real people, real brokers, real property, but properties can't talk. But you're dealing with real title companies, which have people in them,
Yeah.
right? And then you're dealing with, real wholesalers. All these people are people.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so you're dealing with real personalities. You gotta keep an open mind. And so when you met that gentleman, you built a relationship, business relationship, and look what happened. You cannot. What I'm saying is, I have a lot of students telling me, I'm going to make $1 million, but I don't want to talk to nobody. I want to work.
Right.
real estate. That's not
Right.
buddy.
Right. Oh yeah, definitely. I'm forever grateful for the process, definitely, because when I think about it now, you know, all of all of the all of the mistakes,
Yeah.
that I've been through,
Mhm.
it became golden. I don't even look at it as a mistake. I look at it as a lesson. You
Absolutely.
know, so like even like now, you know, um,
Mhm.
knowing the value that it takes to be able to, be in a property, sweat equity, having some skin in the game definitely does matter.
Yeah,
Definitely.
absolutely. So in this property you're in now, so it's a fourplex or fiveplex? I'm sorry.
It's actually a duplex,
Flex,
but
okay.
I upgraded it to you could say a triplex.
All
Yeah.
right. Tell us a little bit about that, because a lot of the guys I deal with, they're like, man, I like this. I got this property, but I want to make sure I get the maximum amount of money I can from it. Well, you need to go and renovate the basement and all that. But tell them what you're doing now to make it bigger.
Well, predominantly, I actually got it done last year. I renovated it last year. So what I did was I actually met some contractors. I put out an ad. I
Okay.
put out an ad on Craigslist on a couple of different ad sites. I met a couple of contractors. I had two options. I could have went the FHA route.
Okay.
I forgot the name of the program,
Mm-hmm.
but they charged a little bit more money. So I wound up using a little bit of cash and credit in order to do the renovation.
Okay.
So, I work with some local contractors, to
Mhm.
upgrade to pretty much change my attic. They kind of
Okay.
broke one of my walls and created a door, and
Oh,
pretty much created a bathroom upstairs and a balcony.
awesome.
So it was a process. Yeah, definitely.
And
I kind of went the alternative route. You could
that's okay.
say.
So you're
Yeah.
thinking outside the box. You're thinking outside the box, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
what I like about what you did was, and I keep telling people over and over again, oh, I hate Craigslist. Craigslist and Google are your best friend. It all depends on your perception, how you
True.
advertise. You could, let me put it this way. The things that people are looking over and thinking are not important, your greatest diamonds and jewels are going to be in there. Guys, I use Craigslist. That's how I found, I'm not sure if I found you that way, but a lot of people responded to my $5 ads. I
I
found,
met you.
yeah,
I met you on Craigslist. That's how I found you. Yep. That's how it happened. The business in a box program.
exactly. So you have some people that they're not really on YouTube and Facebook. More serious business people of the last generation are using other methods to find people. It's the younger generation, like, no shade to the older generation, but the younger people, those are the ones that are on there. No shade to the young people, are on social media a lot more often, between
True.
18 and 20 and 25 years old. The guys you find in their 40s and 50s, and a lot of them using the older methods. So you got to use all of it to your advantage. Listen, I was able to find my director of sales of a lot of my programs, who's running my businesses now. His
Mm,
name is Wes Nathaniel. He responded to an ad. My
mm,
whole team with JW Acquisitions and Development, I'm doing a lot of funding now. People know that. I'm doing, PPP loans and EIDL loans, rolling out programs over the next week or so. And I found my entire team that's going to help me with all that on Craigslist. I can
wow.
tell you how many sales, $20,000 sales, $30,000 sales, because I have high ticket items on Craigslist. So
Wow.
the business relationships I've built over the last year is Craigslist. So all I'm just saying is, don't knock, some of these methods that we are using, even though it may look like there's a bunch of scam artists on there. There's scam artists everywhere.
Right.
You just proved to us that you can build a whole conglomerate with real estate using Craigslist. So you found the contractors, you found these guys, and you built a relationship with them, and they got the work done, and you had great success. Obviously, that's a success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that process happened, and being that I went through that process last year, over a course, I would say from March to June,
Okay.
that process took place in terms of the renovations from I wanted to make sure I renovated the third floor, the basement. I wanted to do the inside first, the plumbing, the electrical, make sure that's airtight, all of this foundation. Then
Okay.
I went outside. I did the concrete, the gates, the gates in the back, and some cosmetics.
Yes.
So it was definitely well appreciated.
Wow. And that first property that you have in the books is a big one, just like your first book. Again, guys, go get it. The Risk Taker.
Right.
And
Now I'm gonna talk about the book.
yeah,
The
yeah.
book.
Just
What?
go there. If you guys go, and we're gonna leave a link when I do the video, when we publish this video on YouTube and Facebook. where you can click on the link on Amazon or wherever and buy it. But for the first 30 people that buy this book, I will send you my free 2-part series. It's, you know, you can, because you can't find it on you. I think you can find it on YouTube if you look for it, but it's hard to find. A lot of people don't know where it's at. But it's a
Right.
series called How to Become a Successful Wholesaler. It's a 2-hour course where I take you step by step on what you should do, how to find a good, you know, how to find a good buyer, how to find a good seller, how to bring them together, how to put together the contract, how to find good off-market deals, all that stuff. I talk about it, and I want to give it to you for free. The first 30 people to buy this book, okay? So with that being said, you want to talk a little bit about the book?
Yes, definitely. So my book, when I wrote this book, I wrote it this is 2021, 3 years ago. Uh, as I was speaking to Jimmie,
Yeah,
before earlier, pain is what made me write this book. Pain, and when I say pain, going through, my mom's passed away, my grandmother passed.
yeah.
I was in a previous marriage, I got divorced. Um, when I wrote the book, I didn't plan it. It wasn't planned. It was just one day I woke up, I just started typing. I
Wow.
finished the book in 2 months. I put it under my own self-publishing LLC.
Mm-hmm.
I got it on Audible as well, on Audible, the
Okay.
app, on Kindle. But I just wrote it because I wrote it for various reasons. I wrote it because I'm a former artist. I've been in the industry. I've been doing music as well. So I felt like, I wanted to mix all of my talents, all of the things that I've done, from the corporate environment, to the entertainment, to me being an artist or author, all into one book, and then I didn't want to make it too long. I wanted to just give people a brief introduction of who I am and give, it was more like a self-help, self-reflection type of book.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, being not to exclude any other uh groups, but being a black man and being able to be
Absolutely.
successful, and applying different methods, yeah, and that's pretty much it to keep it simple,
Awesome.
yeah.
I'm going to read, I got the book here again, guys. I'm going to read the dedication of the book, part of it. I'm not going to read all of it, but I think he says something very profound here that I think you guys should take note of. Again, take out your notes and write this down, okay? Because, you know, Charles Johnson is a true visionary. He really is. He has vision for his community, vision for his family, vision for himself, and visionaries normally, believe it or not, we do think about ourselves, but we think about how we're going to create legacy and do for the community and the people we are assigned to. So it's all about futuristic things. Even when we're not here, does the legacy carry on? That's what the visionary does, and that person, he or she, is always thinking about how they can help other people. Okay, but I want to read this. Okay, and I think this is very powerful. He said, "I was inspired to write this book from the heart in my spirit to give testimony to my family, friends, my grandmother up in heaven, and my music. Uh, my music. I'll say that wrong. Oh, let me start over again. My grandmother up in
No
heaven,
problem.
my music friends. Okay, my music friends. I kept trying to divide it.
Yes.
Okay, engineer friends, business friends, people I grew up with in Brooklyn, people that knew me from different episodes of my life. Listen to this. I did it for me and to fulfill a bucket list of achieving my goals, no matter the hardship, the weather. Living your fullest potential matters more. He says, so listen to that. Living your full potential matters more than being content with where you are in life. I hope the universe and the people who listens, inspired to inspired to this book and become their greatest self. So what got me there was the key. What got me there was he did it for himself. Okay. Yeah, we do things for other people, but I think there's a point in your life where you have to do things for yourself. Take the first step, no matter what. And he said it was something he wanted to do on his bucket list, and he just did it. Don't try to
Right.
figure things out in your head. Just do. And I think that's the biggest thing I've learned from you, my brother. I've learned a lot from
It's a to add to that,
you. Yeah.
self-preservation is key.
Mhm.
Um, you can't make anyone else happy if you're not happy, and for me, I've always wanted to accomplish certain things, and sometimes, you just have to do it. There's no perfect time. Like I didn't, some things are not planned. You just have to do it, and then think about it. And once you jump in, you're gonna be committed, in anything you do. And then that's for me when I wrote the book.
Hmm.
I just did it. I didn't want to think about analysis paralysis, how it's going to turn out. For
Yeah,
some reason, when I just jumped in, everything started working,
that's,
and that's how I apply things, you know, in my life to, to some things. I take calculated risks, even though I
yeah,
named the book The Risk Taker.
yeah.
I did that because I
Hmm.
feel like in life, in order to be successful, you have to take risks.
I
Yeah,
I agree totally. And you're setting an example, brother. And I love this book and many more to come because you have a lot in you. You have a lot to pour back into the community, to a bunch of communities, but definitely into the Black community and to them who are just visionaries. The visionary community needs more of this. Okay.
definitely, definitely.
We only have about another 10 minutes. We're going to be done here, but I want to go into really quick. I want you to talk a little bit about your experience with my company, JW Acquisitions and Development,
Yes,
with
yes,
the box program. You came in at the highest level. We was able to finance you, so you're at the platinum package, which means when we do get you funded, you're going to get anywhere from 120 to maybe up to 200,000, maybe more than that.
right.
That program gets you, the highest level of the highest trade lines, business trade lines on the corporation we buy for you. So
Yeah,
great business credit, and your personal credit is already good. But if we had a major problem with that, we would help you with that too. And
yeah,
we get you business credit cards too, and all of that within 90 days. That's what we said, which means the day first day you pay us,
right.
120 days, we make sure we get you the funding that we promised we're going to get you for that package. So you're in
Yeah,
there now, you finance, you put down a down payment,
yes,
and I want you to tell the audience, have we been transparent with you? Tell us a little bit about your experience.
yes, definitely. You know,
I'm
when
not
I first
your corporation. If you know the name of it, that's okay. But if you don't, that's okay too. But if you know the name of it, tell us a little bit about the corporation, what state it's from. If you know off the top of your head how many years it is.
I know that it's 13 years old, the
Okay.
corporation. I know because I'm a technologist, I know it's a technology
Oh,
corp. um
mhm,
I would say the whole process has been very authentic. It's been very transparent, very on point. I made the down payment. You pretty much you and your team got straight to work.
mhm,
Um,
mhm,
so far so good. I can't complain. I appreciate it. You know what I'm learning from this process, like the business in the box is not only that the investment, it's the relationship that I'm building with you and your team that actually sold me over.
Absolutely.
Some you can spend money with anybody, but the experience may not be the same. But so yeah.
Well,
So I would say my experience has been pretty good because you've been transparent with me.
mhm,
You answered all my questions.
okay.
I'm a very analytical guy.
Yeah, you are.
Uh um and I just think what sold me was the authenticity, the relationship,
Yeah.
your reputation.
Mhm.
That's what made me decide to jump in and do business with you, with your company. And so far it's been great.
And you know what? And I will say this: people buy from people or companies that they like. Like if they don't like you, you can have the best service and product or whatever. They're gonna probably buy with a grudge, and they're not gonna.
That's true.
You know what I mean? And the first sale is not the most important. It's the second sale and the third sale and all that. They have to like that system, the person, whoever's behind it, to be
Right.
trust them. And I've learned this from my mentors. I'm not trying to sell anything.
Right.
Trying to present myself and what I have to offer and build a value instead of looking for a sale. And I've learned that the hard way. I didn't always do things that way. And I teach it to my students. Don't chase a quick buck. Okay? Build value, make your product, don't make it, but make sure you add the value because you just can't do it overnight. You gotta meet certain people, you gotta have the right people on your team to build it
Right.
so high, they're not really looking at, how much it costs. And then they trust the person behind them and say, this person's not going to take off and run on me. And
That's right.
you know me, I can't run. I got 10,000 YouTube subscribers, 20 plus thousand people in a Facebook group. I
Right.
over 10,000 Instagram subscribers, 20,000 Twitter. I'm there, and I make
Right.
available. I can't be available for everybody all the time, but I'm out there, and I realize that running from people is not the way to do it. And so I'm glad that you said that, because that's the purpose of why we do. We're trying to help people. We're not trying to hide behind some email or some phone number.
Right.
We want to build value for you and make sure you get what we promised, so you can build your community, because you're a visionary. The purpose of the program is to put seed money into not just an investor's hand, but anybody that has a vision to have more, because seed money is the key. You may have the vision, but you may be lacking the financial backing to get it done. And I said this on the other video. Far too often in the Black community, we want to start a bank. We want to buy back the community.
Right.
They did it recently in Georgia. They bought back a town. A lot of African Americans came together. Two African American not attorneys.
I believe I saw that. Yeah.
The town is called Toomsboro. They came together and they brought in another 31 families, I think. They all came off this big property in Toomsboro. But guess what? That took money.
Yes.
You may have the vision, but you don't have the economics backing you, the finances to back you. You have to have the money. You can't just, I want this community back. I want to gut it and develop it. No.
And you know
what I mean?
I wanted to add and build on that. That goes with investing. Like, I had to have some money to put a down payment on this house. I invest in cryptocurrencies. I invest in Forex. And, I create other streams of income. But in order to do that, yes, it was an idea. It's something that I was interested in, but you got to have some type of, skin in the game. That's what I've been hearing in the real estate, industry, pretty much.
And to add to that, and here's a problem when I was doing a lot of coaching and mentoring over the last 2 years. I would come and I would tell my students, you need skin in the game. However, if you bring on the wrong investor, you have too many people, too many fingers in the pot, you can't control the deal. If you have good credit, then you can partner with somebody that has good deals. Y'all can work together. If you don't have anything and you surrender your deal to an investor, another company, it's really tough. It's almost like the Steve Jobs thing. I mean, as great as he was, it was tragic how they came in because he gave them too much authority over his company.
Right.
And they kicked him out of the company when they saw something they didn't like. He was the mastermind behind Apple. They kicked him out. They had to turn around and bring him back when when they went belly up. But what I'm saying is, when you give them too much control of your company, it's hard.
Right.
Same thing in real estate. If you do too much, where the investor has too much, and you have nothing, you don't have any pull. Okay, you got to do what they say. Which, if you abide by the rules, you can work it out. It's good. It's like investors in the business. So what am I saying? Getting your own money. This is what I'm getting at. Okay, I'm talking to everyone now. When you get your own money, you can make your own decisions. You go out, you borrow $500,000, but you borrowed it. You have a plan to do something. You ain't got other investors running you down. You can go out and do this. You can take $100,000 and buy another cash flowing business.
That's right.
I teach buy cash flow companies right now, because real estate's like this. And if you don't know what you're doing, you can lose a lot of money. But if you buy a business that's making $30,000 a month, a drop shipping company, that money comes in every month like clockwork. Or you buy, you buy into Forex, you invest $20,000 a month.
That's right.
You know what I mean? You can
franchise business. Yeah. Yep.
And make money on the interest or whatever they trade on it. But if you don't have something like that, it's hard to make moves because you're not in control. So seed is definitely the key to buying back what you want, right? Would you agree with that?
I definitely agree with that. It's value, definitely. It gives you the level of control, and you can actually be more in control of your future.
Absolutely.
And that's priceless. Time freedom is priceless.
Time freedom, yes, sir. And you inspired me today, man. I mean, watching, you're gonna have a lot of people come and say, man, listen, I want your book, but maybe I want your mentorship and your coaching. And so I'm just throwing that nugget out there. Maybe you should start a class, and
I've been you're probably one of many guys. A few guys have mentioned that to me. Being that I've been in different industries. Being that I've been in IT, I've written books. I'm doing a couple of different things, and for me, I guess I'm into action, getting things done. I like to, and I'm very authentic, and I get straight to the point. And for me, I like to be around movers and shakers. That's probably why I got the shirt called Thinkers.
I like it.
Thinkers. I don't know if anybody can see that, but anyway, you know.
Listen,
But yeah, man,
yeah.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate this, this video. I appreciate, your company and
Hmm.
you,
Yeah.
being able to do business with you is a pleasure. Yeah.
And the pleasure is all mine. Guys, in case you guys can't see his shirts, he has Malcolm X,
Let
Barack
me see it.
Obama, Martin Luther King, and what's his name? He also has on there Bob Marley and one more person. I think it's Nelson Mandela. He got the Kings on there.
Yeah, Thinkers.
Thinkers.
Yeah,
Listen,
yeah.
I told him this before we got on here. You can think your way. You want to work your mind, or you're going to work that behind of yours back there. What am I saying? I'm not saying don't work hard and provide for your families and all that. But in the midst of that, you need to expand your thinking.
Work smarter, not harder.
Exactly. Get around other mentors. If you can't go to seminars, YouTube's your best friend. Find people that really teach wealth abundance, the laws of abundance, and teach how to do business the right way and get your mind right and work this thing up here. Y'all can see I shaved all my hair off. Got a new, but there's a brain up there. Trust me. And you do that. That's what he's saying. That's what Charles, I learned from you today, brother. And I try my best, and I told him this, to learn from anyone that comes in my life, because the minute you stop learning, you stop growing.
You're right.
See it. You may go to your grave with a
Student of the game.
but nowhere near what you could be had you kept an open mind. Even if you're 90 years old, if you're 90 years old, you can't learn from a 5-year-old. There is something to learn from a 5-year-old if you watch that person.
It's
Yeah.
interesting. It's interesting you say that. And I'm thinking about so many things when you said that. I'm thinking about,
Mm-hmm.
the choices that I've made in my life have gotten me in the way, it's how you think, it's the mindset. It is the mindset because I wouldn't be where I'm at, like I said, I come from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Mother on drugs, never had a father. My grandmother raised me. I came from nothing. Nobody, I didn't have a lot of help. So, for me to rise from that, graduated college because of my own ambitions, got a master's degree, certifications. But aside from that,
Mm-hmm.
I had the mindset of understanding, you know, the cards that I was dealt. And that's what made me, write my book. That's what made me understand systems, start to look at systems and understanding,
Absolutely.
the atmosphere that I'm in order for me to be able to, you know, uh, be an influence or be an inspiration to someone else. Because, you know, you know, when the odds are against you,
Yeah.
you're either gonna sink or swim.
Absolutely.
When the odds are against you, you're gonna, and I'm just at a point in my life where, sometimes, you can meet people, you can see the authenticity or you can see the fake. And I think that, people recognize, the clarity and the quality of a person, especially if they got a lot to offer them. They're not just talking it. And, for me, I'm one of them guys in the shadows. And,
Yeah.
thanks to, thanks to Jimmie, he kind of pulled me out. I'm sort of like a turtle, but I said, you know what, let me present myself a little bit more. That's what I'm looking to do, present myself more this year as time go on, to definitely build my brand and build, multiple partnerships as well.
Well, my brother, let me just go ahead and tell you this now. I look up to you. I respect you. All praise to the Most High. For you, I don't praise man, but I do praise the gifting in a man. I will honor
Okay.
hard work.
Wow.
I will honor and respect the visionary. Let me take a minute to say this to all the audience. And the people know what kind of person I am. I stand for what's right. I don't stand
Right.
for the right. I'm talking about politics and all that. I do what's right. If it's right, I'm behind it. And I'm going to take a moment to say something about black men. We've been given a bad name through racism and this wicked media that we have. That's why I'm happy that we have social media, so we can get out there and kind of stir things up. So nobody can stop me from saying what I'm going to say, and this is going to be my platform. And I'm going to say this with authority.
Mm.
People, it's men like you, black men, that are breaking down and exposing the lie of this false narrative that black men, you know, we grew up in the ghetto without a father, we can't make it. Let me tell you something. We've been systemically treated bad.
Right.
Put this system to fail on purpose.
Right.
And when you succeed in that system, it puts all the racists and all the wicked people who tried to put us down and hurt us, it puts them to shame. What's their excuse now? A black man grew up in a rough area, his grandmother, no father, and he still made it.
Right.
You know,
Right.
you tear down the narrative, and we know better. We know there's thousands and millions of black men that will never, because they're not famous, not NBA players, they don't talk about it. But Charles Johnson, you're doing something special, man. And there's a lot of other black men doing the same thing. So kudos to you. I grew up with my mom and dad. I saw my grandfather, which was my greatest inspiration. He probably had about 15 businesses, 17 children, built his own house, you know what I mean, in the 50s, his own running water in a deep racist South in the 50s.
Wow.
He could dig his own well in the ground. Okay, he was a master builder. He could cook. You know, he had a tobacco barn, pardon me.
Right.
Preacher, tobacco barn. Trying to think of all the things he did. He was a farmer. Man, he was a welder. He was a blacksmith with a second grade education.
Wow.
For another man in his life. He dropped out of school in the second grade to pursue the family, you know, doing things with the family. Had left tons of acres of land as inheritance and could do all this with 15 kids from my grandmother. He had 2 before her, so he had total 17.
Wow.
Never working like that. Could go in his 70s. He built this big old huge machine. You guys heard me tell the story 1,000 times. This machine is 15 feet in the air. He welded it all together with a second grade education. From his mind, this thing could 100 feet in the ground, past the gravel, all the rocks, and find running water in the ground. He could put down pumps for people. When he find the water in the ground, he knew when he hit the water, he would go buy the pump, set it up. He charged his clients, this was back in the 90s, $2,000 to do that in 2 weeks. I saw this. Wow. That was my mentor. That was my foundation that was laid for me. My father was a great man too, but he wasn't on the level with my grandfather. My grandfather was his mentor. And I saw that. I was like 7 years old, man. That's when I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. But everybody has a story where they have somebody like that in their life. You have the trailblazers like Charles Johnson. Charles, you're going to be what my grandfather was to me. Okay?
Wow, that's deep.
That's why you have to persist. You can't let the wickedness of what the media and all these distractions to keep you from vision, focus. That's all on that, brother. Again, one last time, and we'll talk about this book. Guys, the first 30 people, I got it upside down, the risk taker, the first 30 people that go buy it, I will send you my course. I will leave my contact email in there as well. So as soon as you buy the book with his link, say, hey, Jimmie, I got it. Where's my course? I will email you the course, okay? We're close. Gotcha. Let me just make one announcement, one announcement about I have a course that's coming out. It's been delayed because, again, you guys know I got sick. Thank you for your prayers. I got much better. I had walking pneumonia, lost like 17 pounds, and could not function properly. And I moved into a new house. I'm actually in my studio in my home right now, and we're working on the lighting. It's not there yet, but we're getting there. But what I'm saying is I've been a little backed up. So this course I was supposed to launch in January has been postponed till March because I'm making like 40 videos. And the name of the course is How to Duplicate Yourself with Social Media. So, I'm going to teach you how to go out and get 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and how to keep them engaged. There's a methodology to that, and I'm going to teach it. And that course is $3,000 to get it. I do have my own financing program, so I can finance anyone. You pay $1,000 out of pocket. I can finance the other $2,000. And if you want to take that course, I'm only taking 100 students, no more, no less. So, if you want to be a part of that, just inbox us. My assistant will get back to you. Secondly, I'm going to be teaching next month on the power of bank statements, okay? What's going on now, and the reason I'm teaching it is because a lot of people think that it's just the credit that's going to get you funding and those kind of things. No. Fintech companies now are logging into your bank account when you go to buy a house and do certain things.
That's true. Listen,
to get funding, anything, they log in there with this high-tech technology and they scan your statements and things of that nature. And if you don't have that right, no matter how good your credit is, you have a lot of limitation now. So these fintech companies, they're changing the whole game of funding, finance, all of it. And I'm going to teach a course on the power of that Because last year, myself, you guys know my story. My wife and I were living out of a car about 2 years ago, 3 years ago. We had nothing. Started from scratch. We were teaching courses. Nobody was buying. We were still broke. And it wasn't until like May of last year, April, things took off. And between May and December, my business, I have 8 companies with all my income streams, and some of it was business loans. About 150,000 was business loans. But the revenue from May, well, the income, the deposits in my bank from May to December is over 730 grand. Okay, all that's not profit, obviously, right? I paid out about 100 and something thousand to my employees. Remember, when you have a business, you have to invest in your employees, invest here, invest there. But we grew the gross amount of money that was deposited from month to month collectively was about 730 grand. And that's why we were able to buy the home, because remember, when you file your taxes, if you try to hide, you don't want to pay heavy taxes back, you don't show how much you paid. So when you go to FHA and all those, if you buy certain houses, if your income's not there from your tax returns, you don't get the house. Well, what are they doing now? The second way to get funding or buy homes now is your bank statements. They said, well, your tax returns are really low, but your bank statements are high. You can get this house. Okay? Bank statements is the way to go when it comes to funding. Okay? PPP loans and EIDL loans, they're doing that because of the disaster. But when you start doing term loans, you start dealing with certain banks, they're going to use the fintech technology to determine how you're going to get your funding. People don't know that. So me getting that 700,000 in that 8 months opened up so many doors. But before that, me and my wife, our bank statements were 1,000, 3,000, some months 0. What a difference a year makes, man. So what I'm saying to you, you gotta push yourself to the limit sometimes. It don't just drop out of the sky. You're a man that tried over 50 different businesses, guys. This last one I started about a year ago, which really took off in May, and the other 8 that I bought several companies just happened. But I'm 45 years old. What if I'd have given up a year ago? I wouldn't be sitting there talking to Charles.
Ambition.
Absolutely. Everyone has a story, right? Yeah. So I'm closing on that note. So those are the 2 main things. That course I'm teaching is $3 grand. How to multiply yourself, duplicate yourself on social media. And I'm going to be teaching on the power of bank statements, what you can accomplish when you get those, how to make them strong. I'm going to show you how to, if you have several accounts, how to transfer funds from each account to make them stronger. If you're an entrepreneur, I'm going to show you how to go out and get a merchant account where you can, if you're a merchant, then you can literally send yourself an invoice or send, invoices to be paid to show those deposits in your bank, because you have to show strong bank statements. You have to. There's a legal way to do it. And there's a wrong way. Okay, but all those things you'll learn about that. So when you're ready to go purchase property, houses, multifamily and all that stuff, you're not gonna have any problems. Or you're looking to go get business loans. Okay. On that note, I always say this, Charles. Say this with me. Okay.
Okay.
I'll see you guys where?
At the top.
At the top? Is that right, brother? I'm going to see you here?
Yeah, at the top.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right. Well, take care, guys. Charles, again, you've been a blessing, my brother.
Same to you.
Strong. Keep doing the great work you're doing, all right?
Okay.
To my audience, goodbye. Contact Charles if you want to, only the serious people, not the tire kickers. If you guys are serious, contact him. He wants to do business with you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.